Hello everyone, this is Dr. Nilofer Kauri with my new video on symbolism. Here we begin. A symbolism or a symbol is an object, an event or a character that represents an idea or set of ideas. Okay, we can see here in these pictures there is a cupid, there is a heart red colored, and then again there is a broken heart, and there an elephant and a donkey having a fight. So we quite understand so many things by these symbols. So what is symbolism? Let us begin. The symbol is the most complex metaphorical device of the word game. We call it word game because the words which are representing some other words. Okay. In its simplest sense, it is a comparison between a concrete entity and an abstract idea. Okay. Like in metaphor and simile and conceit also we have comparisons, and we can say on some surface these all terms are very much similar to, or they can be categorized under the symbolism. So the rose as representing love, youth or beauty is a symbol, but in its deeper meaning, any object, image, event, story or anything that can be interpreted as having broader conceptual meaning outside the literal meaning is said to be symbolic. So the surface meaning is different, but actually it stands for something else. In this literary device, a writer uses one thing to represent something more abstract. It can be a physical object or a phenomenon. Symbolism means to imbue objects with a certain meaning that is different from their original meaning or function. So when we illustrate it further, when we further exemplify it, it means to imbue objects with a certain meaning that is different from their original meaning or function, means they are different from their real meaning or literal meaning. And when we move further, it says a strong symbol usually shares a set of key characteristics with whatever it is meant to symbolize or is related to it in some other way. Strong symbol, it usually shares a set of key characteristics. So the target object and the principal object, they have a set of characteristics common with them, which they meant to symbolize or is related to it in some other way. Characters and events can also be symbolic. Symbolism allows writers to convey things to their readers poetically or indirectly rather than having to say them outright, which can make text seem more nuanced and complex. So, by using symbols or symbolism, what do writers do? They make it more poetic, more indirect, more interesting, more complex, which creates ultimate fun or ultimate pleasure in reading the literary work. So rather than saying it outright or in a direct way, they use it to make it complex or indirect. The types of symbols. Okay, here symbols cannot be categorized into any categories. There are so many, but broadly we can say there are conventional symbols and there are private symbols. Conventional symbols are widely recognized signs or signs of systems that signify a concept of idea that all members of a group understand based on a common cultural understanding. Like the cross is a sign of Christianity, okay, and a red cross, it signifies the crucifixion of Christ. So if any writer will use a cross, it will define the Christianity itself. Then the private symbols. Writers, especially modern writers, often produce their own private symbols or individual symbols. These may stem for private or personal memories or incidents in life. So the symbols which are inspired from incidents in life, from personal incidents in life or memories of a poet or a writer, are known as private symbols. Now let's move on to the examples. First, there is example of a cross. which in particular is a shape, and especially which is meant on a building or at some place. It symbolizes Christian faith. Originally, a cross in this shape meant punishment in Roman times, but became invested with its symbolic meaning through the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. So, after the crucifixion, it became the symbol of Christianity. Before that, it was just a symbol of punishment in Roman times. And when we move to symbolism examples in literature, there are so many others. Like the cross, we have the red rose, which is a symbol of love, which is a symbol of affection. A smile, which is a symbol of friendship. Or we can say there's a dove, which is a symbol of peace. A serpent, which is a symbol of evil. Black is a symbol of evil. White, a symbol of peace and friendship, etc. So, in literature, I have mentioned a few examples. I have tried to sum up a few examples. First, in Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Scarlet Letter, it's a perfect example of symbolism. A red letter A that stands for adulteress, which main character Hester Prynne is forced to wear round her small town. Okay, she is charged of adultery, and as adultery was a sin, considered as a sin in Christianity or in any religion, it is considered as a sin. Now Supreme Court has given it as it a legal status, but it is considered as a sin. Let us consider that only. So Hester Prynne, she was forced to wear a letter A, which is dipped in color A, or which is made in color A, which suggests the adultery, which symbolizes the adultery, stands for adultery. This letter is a symbol of sin, and the sin is adultery. And Hester Prynne's whole body becomes a symbol of sin by using this letter, scarlet letter, that is the letter A. A very interesting novel, whole allegorical or symbolic novel. Then Wuthering Heights by Emily Bront itself is symbolic. The Wuthering Heights are symbolic of the wild. Withering means the weather which carries wild winds with it. Okay, so Wuthering Heights is the symbolic of wild nature of the people involved in the story. So all the people who are mentioned in the story are wild natured. Hence, the title itself is symbolic, Wuthering Heights. Then again, a very interesting example and a very renowned. Maybe I suppose that all the students may be knowing these examples. All must have read or seen series of Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. It's a perfect example of symbolism, where Harry's scar on his head, which is symbolic of his bravery, like a badge of honor. After all, he survives major battle after major battle. I have given images of it also. We will move to the next slide. Then Albus Dumbledore, whose name is a symbol of his personality. Dumbledore actually means bumblebee in Old English. Bumblebee, the honeybee, which uses to hum. We have a humming sound. We can hear a humming sound by this domestic bee. And hence, Dumbledore likes to hum. Okay, his name has been put as Dumbledore. And Albus means white, which may symbolize a white wizard or a good wizard. And this principal of the story, Dumbledore, was white skinned or white colored. Hence, his name is symbolic of his personality. Then the golden snitch of Harry Potter, which symbolizes the spiritual alignment every seeker aims for. Okay, here it has been elaborated. You can see the sign on Harry Potter's head here. The sign here on Harry Potter's head, and the color of Dumbledore's skin, and the golden snitch. Okay, so all these are example of symbolism. Now, symbols and metaphors. As in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that symbols can be metaphors, similes, conceits, allegories. So, what is the difference between symbols and how will we distinguish or identify symbols and metaphor from each other? Metaphors compare two different things by stating that one thing is the other. For example, your eyes are heaven. Okay, means eyes are compared to the heaven. This doesn't happen in symbolism, where the relationship between a symbol and what it represents is not stated explicitly, and one thing is not said to be or to be the other thing. Okay, it will not say your eyes are heaven. Rather, it will say I am seeing heaven in your face. Instead, a symbol stands for or represents something else. Metaphors compare two different things by stating that one thing is the other. For examples, your eyes are heaven is represented not explicitly, and one thing is not stated to be or the other thing. Instead, a symbol stands for, represents for something else. Symbol and allegory. An allegory is a work that conveys a moral through the use of symbolic characters and events. Not every work, okay, so a symbol can be a particular incident, can be a particular idea, can be a particular event, but an allegory is a complete work which is written in a symbolic manner, like what I mentioned, a scarlet letter. Excuse me. Not every work that incorporates symbols is an allegory. Rather, an allegory is a story in which the majority of characters and plot developments serve as symbols for something else, or in which the entire storyline is symbolic of a broader phenomenon in society. Okay, so every work that incorporates symbols in it are not allegorical, but an allegory will be definitely symbolic. For example, Edmund Spenser's The Fairy Queen, John Dryden's Absalom and Achitophel, and Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Scarlet Letter. So, here I finish with this example of red rose that symbolizes love, and this is my love for all my viewers. Thank you so much. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe and share, and keep listening. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.